Welcome back, boxing fans, to another great show with Sean on boxing. And here I am debunking some myths that apparently are exposing white and Mexican boxing fans. And the problem with this whole exposing of white and Mexican fans, this is to assume that black boxing fans can do no wrong. This harkens back to that old adage we hear here on YouTube all the time that blacks can't be racist. And with this kind of simplistic, stupid mentality, of course, this is the kind of narratives you're going to hear pushed from channels like this, because these kind of channels don't want to take ownership at all. They just want to always deflect, always play the victims, always point fingers, and always blame other people for their downfalls, right? And this is a microcosm of reality in America. This is the same thing the media pushes, and the same thing we see throughout all social media, not even related only to boxing, right? Unfortunately, you got some simple-minded, dumb motherfuckers in the boxing YouTube environment that act as if somehow this is only a boxing issue. Because back in 1809, there was a racial issue in boxing. But yeah, once again, a fucking microcosm of the world at that time. So boxing only reflects the world we live in. And if you look at the world we live in today, the media is pushing this race war like they never did in the 80s, and they never did in the 90s, and they never did in the 2000s. But all of a sudden, 2020, this is the biggest fucking topic of conversation, right? So John Boxing was talking about this guy's channel. And so I had to listen just to hear what kind of stupidity. And I listened to exactly 3 minutes. And right there, it tells you everything you need to know. Point one he made was basically blaming Filipino Manny Pacquiao fans for what's going on today. It's all based on Filipino fans. Because of Filipino fans who were critical of Floyd Mayweather, Latin American boxing fans have picked that up and carried it forward to today. Hence the hate and narratives being thrown towards black American boxers. This tells you everything you need to know about this fucking individual. Floyd Mayweather, fucking Flo-Mo fan, who obviously hasn't been watching boxing that long. Because if you've been watching boxing for a long time, you know that black American boxing fans were criticizing Latino fighters well before Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao were fucking really even dominating boxing. You can go back to Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy, who was the pay-per-view star in boxing during his era, right? Doing huge money fights, making tons of cash. He was the Golden Boy, dominating the two Mexican holidays consistently. His fights on pay-per-view, right? Yet he was constantly criticized. He was criticized by Mexican fans because he wasn't Mexican. He was also criticized by black American fans who consistently shit on him, downplayed him, and did the same thing then that they do now. There's no difference. We saw the exact thing happening back in the day when Oscar De La Hoya was a dominant non-black fighter in the sport of boxing. And then, of course, you had Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., probably the best Mexican fighter of all time. Yet he was constantly ridiculed and hated on, not by Mexican and Latino fans, but by black American fans, right? Who called him flat-footed, one-dimensional, had many criticisms to throw towards him, right? They couldn't just be happy with their fighters and build them up. They had to do what they do today, which was ridicule and hate on somebody else to try to hype up their fighters, right? You didn't need to shit on black American fighters if you were a Julio Cesar Chavez fan, because he was beating fucking everybody. And I was never a fan of his. I was a Pernell Whitaker fan. I was a Meldrick Taylor fan. I thought the Meldrick Taylor stoppage was terrible. He was winning the fight. I felt it was terrible to stop it with 10 seconds left to give Chavez the win. But what Chavez was doing obviously was very effective, because Meldrick Taylor was never the fucking same again. His career was basically ended by stepping in the ring with Julio Cesar Chavez. who broke him physically, broke him mentally, right? So his one-dimensional style was enough to take this slick fighter and destroy what great talent he was and turn him into a nothing. I never became a guy who never ended up living up to the expectations people had for him like I did. Pernell Whitaker, I felt, was robbed getting a draw versus Julio Chavez, right? And I stated that, and so did my friends, not Black Americans, but Black Canadians, right? So this whole narrative goes back a long time where Black fans felt that they were superior and that their fighters were superior. They also felt they are superior. And this is where this whole issue comes from, right? This racism, superiority, feeling that they're a dominant race and their fighters are then thus dominant. And because of this, of course, you're going to have other races and other fans of boxers kick back, kick out, right? So this guy talking about Pacquiao, criticizing Floyd Mayweather, people criticized Floyd Mayweather way before Pacquiao was even fucking on Floyd Mayweather's radar. So you can't go around blaming fucking Filipinos and Pacquiao fans when this was a criticism towards Floyd well before he even got to 147 pounds, right? As far as Pacquiao fans, of course they're going to support Pacquiao, just like the Flomos supported Floyd. And we had that whole era back then where obviously you had these two groups of fans supporting their fighters. And to be real, Pacquiao fans weren't all Filipino, and Floyd Mayweather fans weren't all Black. You had a big mix of all kinds of fans that supported these two fighters because they were dominant. They were two of the best fighters in boxing. So because of that, you're going to have a huge fan base behind you, which is why the fight did so big and did such huge numbers. They were both pay-per-view stars. But during that whole era, we remember Pacquiao's ducking Black fighters, Pacquiao's on PEDs, Pacquiao's fucking not crossing the street. He's only fighting top-ranked ESPN or ESPN top-ranked fighters, right? But yet this was the same thing Floyd Mayweather is doing, only fighting Showtime fighters, wasn't also fighting slick fighters, ducked Amir Khan, ducked Devin Alexander, ducked other slick fighters that fans were actually pushing for him to face because we wanted to see him do something different, fight a different style of fighter, not just a flat-footed, aggressive, come-forward fighter that made his countering ability that much more effective, right? You know, you could be a fan of either one, and it's fine. The problem is, I couldn't be a fan of Pacquiao because me being a fan of Pacquiao during that era made me racist because I didn't support Floyd. I'm not American. I'm not Black. I don't need to support Floyd. I don't like that style. I never liked that style. Anyone who watches my channel knows that's true. Has nothing to do with race, has to do with style. Pacquiao was an exciting fighter who I loved watching. Floyd, I never liked watching him. Never. And is it because he's Black? No, because during that era, I supported tons of Black fighters that were far more entertaining than Floyd. But if you want to support Floyd, that's fine. I never tried to tell people not to like Floyd, to not support him, but people literally tried to do that with me as a Pacquiao supporter. And everyone watching this knows it's true if you were back in the day during the whole Pacquiao situation. And that's why this guy's whole video is bullshit, because from the first start of it, he's talking out his ass and he's showing that really he hasn't been watching boxing for that fucking long. And obviously he's drank the Kool-Aid from day one. But Tavern, welcome in the house. Wayne Evans, Drunk Irishman, what's up? Frederic, what's up? Full Star, I'm not Black or American, and I was a Floyd fan. Yeah, and if you listen to this, I just said all kinds of fans supported Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. No one celebrated the Marquez KO more than Flomos. That's true, acting as if somehow Floyd did that. Well, he didn't. He just fought the guy that had gotten knocked out by Marquez, which kind of takes away a lot of that greatness. You fought a guy that lost to Bradley and got KO'd by Marquez. That's the Pacquiao you fought. You didn't fight the Pacquiao who was dominating Cotto and fucking Marquez, right? Margarito. Two of my favorite boxing YouTubers are live right now. Sean and Bushido Boxing. Exactly. I always went with Pacquiao. I went with Pacquiao when he wasn't even a 147-pound fighter. So it had nothing to do with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd retired, Pacquiao moved up and took over the division. Nothing to do with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was the one who chose to come back and feel offended because somebody else was starting to take over boxing, right? So it is what it is. It's those fans who water down sports in general. What happened to being a fan of a fighter and race not being involved? Well, these guys, unfortunately, you got all kinds of people that race, nationality are their two biggest checking points for sports in general. And I understand the Olympics. Being an American, you would support Americans, right? I get that. Being Canadian, I love to support Canadians in the Olympics. But this is a professional sport. This is different. Full Star says, there are so much bigotry from both ends, honestly. Exactly. And that's what I said. The whole premise of this video is wrong. Because once again, you're pointing fingers at one group and not taking any ownership for your own people, right? Acting as if you can do no wrong. Yet all of us that watch YouTube knows that that's not true at all. If you watch the whole Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao situation, you know fucking racism and hate was coming from both sides. I couldn't even say something positive about Floyd without being called a racial epitaph. They just assumed I was black. And it was the same with me being a Pacquiao fan. I mean, now YouTube compared to then, it ain't even close. It ain't even close. I mean, 78 had his channel shut down by Flomo boxing fans because he was more pro Manny Pacquiao. Not really pro Pacquiao, but wasn't really pro Floyd. Hey, Sean, what's going on? What's up, pound for pound? Salute to the SMBC. You think we get Pacquiao versus Rolly this year? I fucking hope not. Sean, since you are Canadian, you ever tried Wayne Gretzky liquor? No, never. I can't say I have. Like, what does he have? Liquor? I would figure he has a winery, right? So there would probably be wine. Sydney Sweeney did nothing wrong. The only people who have a problem with it are jealous people and people who lost off of race and fat, ugly fucking lesbians who are jealous because, unfortunately, no one cares what they fucking wear. And nobody should. But the second point that he made in this video, which once again proves his stupidity or his bias, because that's what I have to say. Like, he's siding with one group and pointing fingers at other groups, right?
It's the same thing.
He goes on to then criticize Filipino fighters for being one-dimensional and Mexican fighters. And talking about how if exciting fighters sell more and are more marketable, then how come David Benavidez and Gary Russell Jr. aren't more popular than Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney? But look at that comparison right there. You're comparing, first of all, two fighters that barely were fucking even getting much attention, both PBC fighters, Russell and David Benavidez. So they didn't get to fight often. We know how the PBC fucking has their fighters out once a year. They weren't fucking getting a lot of attention because they weren't the pay-per-view stars, so they were kind of secondary. Whereas Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson have been pushed hard from multiple promotional platforms, right? And the fact that they've done successful is based mostly off of promotion, not based on them actually being super exciting fighters. Shakur has consistently been criticized as a boring fighter. Consistently. Even Devin Haney fans think Shakur is boring, right? So what does that tell you? The reality is it's a stupid story. It's kind of like when people say, well, being a slick, defensive fighter doesn't sell. People say that, but Floyd Mayweather is the most sold fighter of all time. Yeah, and I think the second and third would be Pacquiao and fucking Mike Tyson. Telling you that obviously dominant, exciting fighters are fucking successful, and that's what people want to watch. Example, Tank fucking Davis, Deontay Wilder, right? Guys with huge punching attention get tons of fans, tons of attention, cross over. boring, defensive, slick fighters. Unfortunately, look at Rigo as an example. Everyone knew Rigo was a great fighter, two-time Olympic gold medalist, obviously a unified champion at 122 pounds, a guy that was blatantly ducked by all the PBC dudes, Mares, Frampton, and Oscar Leo Santa Cruz, all three PBC fighters at 126 who blatantly ducked and didn't want anything to do with Rigo. Why didn't Al Heyman push Rigo to fight those fighters? Because he knew, like you know, like I know, that nobody wanted to pay to watch fucking Rigo fight. He would beat those fighters, ruining the cash cow opportunities that Al Heyman had to market them as, you know, Mexican American fighters, where he could then make cash off of them, to end up losing to a boring Cuban that nobody wanted to watch fucking fight, even if he was far better than all three of them. And obviously those three names on his resume would have been fucking historic. But unfortunately, he didn't sell because his style was boring, uninteresting. We could use another example, Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti was, you know, not elite, not a club fighter, but somewhere in between, right? This guy made millions and millions of dollars because of his excitement. He was an exciting fighter, and because of that, people paid to watch him fight, knowing he was going to entertain, and he crossed over because of that, right? We've had plenty of slick fucking fighters, far more skilled than Arturo Gatti, who fucking never, ever became even close to as successful as Gatti. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather both fucking signed off to fight Arturo Gatti, even though he was not at their level. But that's why. Haney is more boring than Shakur. That ain't true. One fight of Devin Haney's was more boring, but Devin's been in far more exciting fighters than Shakur's ever been in. Where are we? Holy crap. Hey, Sean, did you see the trailer for Spartacus spinoff? Main character is a black woman. Spartacus, bro. Shake my fucking head. Well, that's not a surprise. I mean, you know, right now, we got to change all the characters to fit this new woke fucking agenda. Even though in America, still 60% of the population are white. So when people get upset about a girl selling jeans who's white, 60% of the market is still fucking white. The biggest percentage of the market to market towards is still fucking white. Unfortunately, Hollywood is sinking like a fucking large turd in the toilet because they're marketing for fucking a 2% fucking transgendered population. You know, okay, go woke, go broke. You know, that's been shown time and time and time again. And if you want to do it, I don't give a fuck. Do it. But you're fucking sinking your own ship. I just subscribed to Bushido Boxing to find out why it's your favorite. Why do you keep doing this on your entertainment? Straight males are the largest consumers of movies and games. Why keep marketing to the minorities? Well, I mean, you think about comic book characters and everything else. Straight white men have always been the biggest demographic who bought Star Wars, Star Trek, fucking comic book characters, bought all the fucking figureheads and t-shirts and everything else. But what you want to do is alienate that huge fan base to fucking aim towards a fan base that doesn't really even give a fuck about your product, right? But that's the way they're marketing. They're marketing for not success, but for failure. Fighters like Shakur and Haney and others study and watch a lot of Mayweather tapes. They idolize his style. They just hope they get paid like him, but they didn't do the work he did to get to the position he got to, right? Which obviously took a long time. Floyd didn't make all that money early on in his career. He had to like work hard, move correctly, and finally, thanks to Oscar De La Hoya, the doors fucking were open to him. Fury was a popular fighter in the UK. When he beat Klitschko, is possibly the most boring heavyweight fight of all time. You don't always need to be exciting in the ring to be a star. No, full star. Fury was not a fucking star when he stepped in to fight Klitschko. He wasn't even fucking considered a guy that was worthy of a Klitschko fight. No one thought he was even going to fucking be effective against Klitschko. So now you can say he was a star, but he never was a star. Not at all. This was a guy people thought lost to another big, tall fucking UK fighter, he was a guy that nobody was sold on at that time. People were more sold on Deontay Wilder than they were sold on fucking Fury at that time. Come on, Full Star. Keep it fucking accurate. I was around. I watched boxing at that time. I know exactly what people were saying before the Klitschko fight. It was a huge upset because nobody expected that. I predicted that he could beat him because that was the first taller, longer fighter that Klitschko had ever fought. And I didn't think the style he used against other fighters, the straight up jab and backhand and then hold and clutch type of style, would be effective against Fury. And it wasn't. If Monster can stack the Western fan base, he would be one of the most entertaining fighters ever. He already is. PBC, prevent Bud Crawford. Gaddy was a casual fan's dream. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? When you're trying to make superstars, you're going for casual fans. Casual fans don't want to watch slick, boring fucking fighters because they don't understand boxing at that aspect of it. So for them, this is not entertaining. I told this story many times. I was camping, and it was Sunday morning. The Pacquiao-Floyd Mayweather fight was on in Taiwan. Of course, I wasn't going to fucking miss it. So I had my computer out, my laptop. I watched it, and of course, everyone else gravitated around the laptop to watch the fight. I'm the only hardcore fan that was watching the fight. The rest, of course, knew it was a big fight because it was all over the media. Everybody thought Floyd Mayweather was boring as fuck in that fight. Boring as fuck. And really, the people that weren't fans of Floyd, most of them felt that way. Most of them watched those fights to watch Floyd get beat, right? It wasn't Floyd being exciting that made him popular. It was him being unlikable that had people actually watch his fights, a lot of them, to see him get beat, to see him be exposed, right? And granted to Floyd, he never allowed them to see that, right? And that's part of his luster, that he, used it, monopolized it, and never fell into that trap. WBO, what Bud orders. Shakur's best performance was against Herring. He had done fuck all since then, of course. The woke agenda is dead. It's all about time. These companies realized it. Haney Ramirez put me to sleep, literally. Yeah, it was boring as fuck. Klitschko was Fury's idol. Fury is not boring. He fights are very entertaining, especially when he beats the shit out of Wilder. Well, those fights were all very entertaining. That's true. Inui by 12-round KO over MJ Akhmedov. I said he became a star here after the Klitschko fights, not before. Well, and no, he didn't, because he literally fucking retired right after that fight and disappeared completely. So he definitely wasn't a star at that point. Thanks to Deontay Wilder, he became a star. Wilder cherry-picked, and it went fucking horribly wrong, and was great for Tyson Fury. He was all over BBC News and Sky Sports Radio after that win. Everybody knew who he was. Happy belated birthday, Mama Bud Crawford. If it looks boring, it is boring. Well, that's the thing, right? All these people that are such huge fucking slick fighters, they only say this conversation when they talk about black slick fighters. They don't use this when they talk about Asian or, Eastern European or Latin American slick fighters. It only is their narrative to push when they're trying to talk about how people hate black American fighters because they are boring. Well, nobody says they are boring. There are certain fighters that are boring, right? Like Tyson Fury pretty much is boring. Those Tyson Fury Wilder fights, they were the thing that sold him. And that can happen to everyone, right? Obviously, the Haney Lomachenko fight wasn't boring. The Regis Prograis fight wasn't boring, but the Ramirez fight, boring, right? You look at a guy like Ugas, most of his fights were boring, but then he fought Hurd. The Hurd fight was fucking great, right? A great fight. A fight that really sort of saved his career because after that, people were like, oh, yeah, he fought great. He lost in that fight, but in losing, his brand improved because that fight was exciting. Love Bivol, but man, he is a loser. He was given a choice, but instead chose the mandatory instead of better BF. Well, to be fair, if he's fighting the mandatory, if he had the choice, then obviously he should have went after better BF. But we know they're ducking, trying to age better BF out. Why did these LDBC overlook Usyk cruiserweight resume that act like he fought bums? Because the LDBC and whoever is anti-Usyk don't want to give him attention and praise because he's not black, right? I mean, for the most part, I always said Usyk I thought was a boring fighter because of his style, but he is one of the most dominant fighters in boxing. So even though you might find his style boring and his personality boring, if you're just a casual, the reality is there hasn't been anyone really as dominant as Usyk has been. He's done more than enough to be considered pound for pound number one. Just because he's not black doesn't default him from getting that attention. But if you want to put Bud Crawford number one, that's fine too. I'm not going to cry about it. But the reality is you're crying because Usyk is being put in that position. Why? Because you can't accept any non-black fighter being considered the best in the sport. Right? I mean, we also see this in the NBA and WNBA as well. So it's not as if it's only something you see in boxing. Porter versus Hughes was an amazing fight. Also, Porter versus Spence. That was a fucking great fight. PBC keeps trying to recycle Thurman against Virgil. I know. LDBC only covers about 5 boxers. That's it. That's true. They're already circling the ATG wagons around Ali when it comes to Usyk. Of course, because they cannot accept anybody not black being considered the best. What's your opinion about Lopez fighting Better BF? To be fair, I thought Lopez was probably going to be a guy that David Benavidez' team moved towards. Obviously, we know that promotional company works a lot with the PBC, so I assume that was going to be a direction they moved. But fortunately, they got a great fight with Anthony Yard. I think Naji Lopez Better BF is a great fight. Naji Lopez is young, a lot of skill, a lot of fucking potential. The question is he ready for Better BF? And the question is Better BF over the hill, or does he still have something in the tank? And that fight's going to tell us a lot, right? If he goes in there and destroys Lopez, he's going to stay sharp and get ready for a potential rematch with Bivol. Saying Bivol would avoid third fight with Better BF doesn't make any sense, but he is avoiding the fight. He's consistently pushed that fight to a point where now both guys are fighting different fighters. This is primarily him that has done that. Not Better BF, him. The LDBC channels has Elijah Pierce pound for pound number 4. When do drugs get so good? They have Elijah Pierce number 4 pound for pound. What LDBC channel has Elijah Pierce number 4 pound for pound? The dude's got losses against bum-ass fucking opponents. And the last guy he beat was a fucking Inui leftover during fucking COVID. Literally. That's who he beat. A guy that Inui fought during COVID because he had to fight someone. So he pulled this bum off the shelf and fought him and another guy, right? Guys that he got literally no credit for, literally got fucking shit on for fighting such low-level opponents. But Elijah Pierce becomes pound for pound for fighting that guy and getting dropped on his ass in the first round. Oh my God. He's not ready. He's fucking not good. Will Clarissa be the GOAT if she beats Grandmother Ali? Fuck no. Sharon from above, what's up? Bivol took a lot of damage from Better BF fights, both of which I think he lost. Sure, but Better BF fucking hurt his leg going into the first fight. Obviously, he's 40 years old, right? You know, obviously he's taking a lot of damage, and physically it's a toll on him as well. And this is a guy who is 40 years old, right? Those training camps, you know, it's hard to keep those training camps going when you're that age. It's not the fights, it's the training camps, right? They're fucking brutal. 2-3 months of going through that punishment on your body. Man, that shit's tough. I heard Sugar Nunez is fighting Christopher Diaz. That fight is okay. Nothing spectacular. Yeah, but that's a lot of the fights that are getting made, right? I heard that, of course, Bivol is fighting, you know, his mandatory. Better BF is fighting a good young up-and-comer, but that's what he is, a young up-and-comer. Yard and Better BF, Benavidez, that's a pretty fucking good fight. Then I saw a few other guys who were fighting lesser level of opponents Who are they talking about? Murtazalia fighting Lubin. Uh, Virgil Ortiz fighting Ramos, right? So they're not bad fights, but they're not great fights. And because we're getting so spoiled, thanks to Turki Al Sheikh, people can't accept good fights. They think everything should be a great fight. But that's not how fucking reality works. You got to have good fights and, develop fights that are great fights. Great fights don't just materialize because hardcore fans want to see the style matchup. Like David loves Alicius Iglesias, but you can't necessarily throw him in with Canelo Alvarez and say that that's a fight boxing fans want and it's going to be a great fight, even though hardcore fans would be really interested in that matchup. But if he fought Mbili and beat Mbili, then the possibility of him versus Canelo Alvarez becomes fucking real deal, right? Just based on that one opponent that really elevates him, not just with hardcore fans, but with more casual fans as well. And that's what you need if you want to build up a great fight. Clarissa the Quote, proof she isn't. LDBC Voice, proof she isn't. Fucking they can't even name 5 people on their fucking resume. What bullshit narratives are you talking on? Bullshit narratives? Victor, if you're going to come in here and just be a tool, you can just go watch somebody else's video. I heard Otar is getting back in the ring. There's no way anyone has Elijah Pierce on the pound for pound list. It's impossible. If people put Elijah Pierce on the pound for pound list, we know it's all because of race. Better Biev, I'm hearing, is not supposed to be fighting Bivol next. If that's the case, Benavides beats Yard. We have to get David versus Bivol, not the trilogy crap. Of course, you're going to talk that shit. But David's doing what? If he beats Anthony Yard, he beat a guy that fucking David Benavides is fighting somebody's leftovers. Better be have already sparked fucking Anthony Yard. Showbiz at one point had Joseph Parker as his number 1 pound for pound. Showbiz is a fucking tool. He puts women on pound for pound lists. I mean, you want to make a woman's pound for pound list, go crazy. But putting Clarissa Shields on the men's pound for pound list, she couldn't fucking beat anyone. She ain't pound for pound, and she should never fucking come close to a men's pound for pound list, because I could pick some 122-pound fighter that would beat the living shit out of her, hit her with fucking 8-punch combinations she wouldn't fucking see coming. Like, come on, man. I just watched like a video of some kid that played Grand Canyon University, Division I, averaged 4 points. He played that fucking big, tall, 6'9" Australian girl that played in the WNBA and dunked on her, swatted her shot, kicked her ass. And he's like fucking 6'1", 6'2". You know, people got their fucking place. Chris has done more than Taylor and Serrano combined. Hala Ninja, are you fucking talking out your ass? Her resume compared to fucking Katie Taylor's is straight up garbage. Straight up garbage. If you want to talk about all the vacant titles she's won, okay, congratulations. She's won vacant titles that nobody wanted because they didn't want to pay fucking the sanctioning fees on them. And how does that make her great? Like when people like John talk about people just chasing titles, she's the epitome of that. Chasing titles, not chasing great opponents. She had a great opponent, and she ran away from the rematch. Do you see Turkey getting robbed by Dana? Turkey seems like an easy target for someone like Dana. What do you mean like Dana? Robbed. Dana been in the business for fucking how long now? What do you mean robbed? Who's accusing Dana of robbing them? He's worked the same fucking people that own the UFC from the beginning. I haven't heard them talk about him robbing them. Where are we? I'm just asking. It's in the title. Yeah, and you missed that part. And now we've moved on. I can't remember any of Usyk's fighting being boring. To me, more boring are fights are one-sided cherry pick fights. They already know the outcome. Yeah, but some one-sided cherry pick fights, historically, that's what we grew up watching a lot of great fighters in. And it was great to see them style and profile against lesser opposition. The only time fights like that are disappointing is when a guy that's supposed to be great struggles. with fighters that are mediocre that nobody knows. But when they go out there and fucking look fucking like Sugar Ray Robinson, no one's moaning or groaning about those performances. Those performances are iconic. Those are the fights you go back and watch again to see the guy throw a three fucking punch, a three left hand fucking combination that ends up knocking a guy out, a la Roy Jones, right? He didn't do that against great opponents. He did that against bum ass opponents, and it was fucking must see TV. All you do is cry about black dudes. Listen to this guy. We haven't even talked about black dudes since you left this stupid comment. What are you talking about? We're talking about boxing, matchups, and how fucking fans are fucked up because all they want is the best fights and they can't accept good fights. And then you come up with your stupid bullshit. Mexican, go fuck yourself. PBC cards, for example, garbage. I hate that Showbiz does that to pander to his family channel. Well, that's what he does, right? Because he's trying to make a living off of YouTube. So he's got to blow fucking everybody. Clarissa Shields would lose to Cornflake LaManna. Yeah, she would. Fucking Cornflake LaManna would kick her ass. Accolades-wise, yes, but her opponents aren't the best. Yeah, that's all I ever said. She's won more divisions and world titles than any woman in history. Congratulations. You're in divisions where literally you're fighting women that are 41 years old with 5 professional fights to win a world title. Congratulations. And I'm supposed to fucking praise you and get super excited because of that. Jesus fucking Christ. Come on. What rematch did Carissa duck, please? The British chick. Sean, have you talked about Virgil and Thurman in the works for October? We did mention that, and we said it's okay. Obviously, it's not a fight people are excited for, but it's not a bad fight because, of course, the same reason. What's his face? Oh, no more drinks. What's his name? Tim Zhu. The same reason Tim Zhu wanted to fight fucking Thurman is the same reason the Virgil Ortiz wants to fight him. He's got some name recognition. So you could do a fight with him. It's low risk, but you're probably going to make good money in the fight and then still move towards bigger and better fights. Ask Usyk is trying to destroy his opponent. He doesn't run for 12 rounds and count on gift decisions. Dana will rob Turkey for sure, but you're entitled to your own opinion. Once again, Federico, rob him how? You give me an example of Dana robbing people. He's been with the same fucking promoters or owners of the UFC for fucking 20 years and never have I ever heard anyone complain about Dana robbing them. Nobody. Whereas if you talk about Schaefer, that fucking douchebag that worked with Golden Boy, literally tried to rob Oscar De La Hoya of his fucking company and his stable and then hooked up with fucking Al Heyman to create the PBC. Yeah. I know Isaac Cruz gets a lot of flack for avoiding slick and nimble guys, but he says he wants Matias. That's a great fight. Yeah, it's a great fight, but does Matias even need to look towards Isaac Cruz, a PBC fighter who's fucking doing nothing? How many fake accounts does John have? I don't think he has any. I'm just trolling with the Clarissa stuff, Sean. I know. Now you get something against us Mexicans. Yeah. See, once again, I don't even think you're fucking Mexican. I'm sure your fucking last name is Robinson and you fucking live somewhere in fucking Maryland. But okay, keep acting fucking like you're Mexican. Because if you're a Mexican, you would be the fucking huge anti-black fucking racist on this channel. Just like the majority of Mexican YouTube channels. Savannah Marshall, you're right. I'd rather Spence versus Thurman. Well, nobody cares about Spence right now. Spence fucking hasn't fought in years. He fucking got his ass knocked out the last time he fought. There's no interest in that fight at all. I mean, Keith Thurman is more active than fucking Errol Spence. What does that tell you? I read some boxing news that the sanctions does not want Spence versus Thurman to be champions. Way too inactive. Yeah, and they shouldn't be fucking champions. They are way too inactive. That's why neither should get a world title fight. But if Thurman beats fucking what's his face, then he deserves a world title fight because now he beat a legitimate 154-pound fighter. But I don't think anyone's picking him to win that fight. That John guy made a video talking about Jaron fighting Jesse Vargas. Is that real? I'm not sure if it's real or not, but it's a good fight. I mean, we know that David fucking would be happy with that fight because he was hoping that Jesus Ramos would get a big fight, and him getting a fight with John Ennis ticks that fucking box right off the bat. This is why I don't like Virgil, though. WBC will push Spence to number 2 spot for Fundura. Politics are at its fullest. Well, they already did that, right? They had it mandated. They were pushing for that fight. Only the WBO telling them to go fuck themselves stopped that fight from happening. Crawford retires Spence. They just don't want to admit it. He wants to run down Zayas, but yet turns around and cherry picks fucking Thurman. Give me a break. He doesn't want fucking Zayas. That's all fucking cap. He was already offered that fight. That fight was already agreed to. And he's the one that walked in a different direction. And I ain't hating on him because I like him. And he's shown that he's eager and willing to fight anyone. So I don't think he's ducking. But sometimes you got to look at the offers on the table, the business aspect of boxing. Obviously, we don't know all that. So I feel uninformed to comment. Based on his resume and what he's done a lot. Unfortunately, that illness at 147 kind of fucking hurt his career and put it into fucking reverse. As far as the Puerto Rican kid, I'm pretty sure most of you guys on this channel not that long ago were shitting all over the Puerto Rican kid, talking about how he is straight up garbage. Both Spence Thurman fought 2 times within 5-6 years. Spence at least came back for big fights, while Keith has just talked to his shadow. Spence came back for big fights. He got knocked out by Bud Crawford and literally has done nothing since then. That's what I'm saying. Virgil was offered that fight and ducked. BT made a live about it last night. Well, of course because he wants to fucking go exposed. Still think Keith Thurman faked the car crash. Everybody does. To be honest, I don't think Madrimov is a great win either. Crawford had already beaten him. Oh my God, David. See, you're part of the problem. You would be happy as fuck to put some dude that hasn't done shit in boxing into a fucking big fight like Ramos, but then you're going to be critical of other people. Oh my God, dude. Fucking just keep the same energy, man. Like, Madrimov had a great performance against Bud Crawford. For Virgil to go in there and beat him, now in hindsight, you act like it wasn't a good fight. But going into the fight, many people felt Madrimov was going to be too good, too elusive, too skilled for fucking Virgil. He wasn't. Great performance from Virgil. And look forward to Virgil to beat Keith Thurman and then fight Errol Spence afterwards in fucking Dallas. David acting like Crawford destroyed Madrimov. Exactly. The one thing I respect about Spence is he didn't take tune-ups off long inactivity. You shouldn't respect that. That's fucking stupidity and why his career fucking fell into a fucking shithole. Because of that stupid fucking way of doing things. It's a dumb way. It's never been done in boxing. No great fighter ever did that to themselves because it was just stupid. And no trainer would be okay with it because, once again, it's fucking stupid. If he jumps in and fights Virgil Ortiz without a tune-up fight, he's going to get knocked the fuck out. And he'll be lucky if he doesn't turn into fucking a James Toney after that kind of beating, after what he already went through with a car crash and Bud Crawford. It's stupid to do that. But all his fake-ass bullshit PBC fans can act like somehow that's great. That's something to be praising. No, it just shows you why his career ended up in a fucking dumpster fire. Because him and his fucking trainer are fucking idiots. True School says Madrimov is overrated and average. Of course he does. But then he thinks fucking what's-his-face is a fucking pound-for-pound fighter. Virgil, one of the most underrated fighters in the sport. Totally underrated. Yes, Madrimov has an awful style. His style is awful. But he's good. Awful styles and awkwardness are hard to beat. I respect Spence if he fights Virgil. Yeah, and you respect him all the way to fucking the hospital after a 5th-round knockout and fucking an early retirement and possible brain damage? Okay, You're a real Spence fan, I see. Inactive fighters cannot be champions until they show consistency. I agree with you. I don't think Pacquiao should have fucking got a world title fight. I think it's terrible for the sport. And I'm glad he lost. Truthfully, I wish he won because I love Pacquiao and I would love to fucking have that check to, shit on Floyd Mayweather fans. But to be fair to the sport of boxing, it would have been terrible if he won. Because then literally every fucking buddy at 147 would have been chasing Pacquiao and everyone at 140. And they wouldn't fight each other because they'd be chasing the money fight. How is he underrated? He lost to Beholchuk. Oh my God, dude. He lost to Beholchuk in a fucking very entertaining fight coming off of serious fucking illness, which forced him to move up in weight. Sean, you have a beef with True School? I don't, but some of the narratives he pushes are just, for a guy that's a hardcore boxing fan and been around the sport for so long, he comes off real casual. The whole fucking Turkey hate, the Lomachenko hate, the Canelo hate, now the Inouye hate. It's like, oh, he's one of those dudes that wants to tell you, oh, look, I discovered this fighter and this fighter and this fighter. Without me, nobody would be talking about them. Look at me, I'm breaking new grounds. But then shit on all these established fighters because, well, they're established. And he wants to be not normal, not typical. And it's like, stop. Just fucking be a fan of the sport and stop fucking acting as if somehow your opinion is significant. True School's opinion is not fucking significant. It's his opinion. And he's got many bad fucking opinions and many bad takes. So based on that, who's going to fucking take his opinion to the bank as if fucking it really means something? Nobody. But, I don't mind the guy being a fan of the sport, putting in work, trying to break new ground. I'm cool with that. But it's just the pretentiousness, right? Your channel ain't that big. You don't make fucking that much money off your channel. Stop acting as if fucking somehow you're like this cutting edge fucking boxing fucking journalist. Because if you were, you'd be a little more professional in the way you fucking portray boxing. Because he doesn't come across professional at all. What's your beef with True School? He's a Latino? Oh, yes, that's exactly why. Fucking hate those Latinos. Bud fights at least once a year. In terms of inactivity, I'm talking about Spence, Thurman, Charlos, and the PBC camp. Sean, YTBC Legends. Thank you very much. Where are we? Well, on that note, fighters who move up to divisions should have to start at the bottom of the rankings and fight their way up to a title fight. Well, Alan, the only problem with that is if you're a champion with the WBO, of course the WBO is going to move you up and put you high in their rankings in the next division. And to be fair, if you're a champion, that makes some sense. You've earned a little bit of fucking, right? As long as you're trying to do great things in the sport, why not help you do that? But when you're cherry picking and just chasing money fights, then again, yeah, you shouldn't be fucking helped by sanctioning bodies. WBC. We started hating on Inouye after he denied him an interview. Yeah, but why would Inouye give him a fucking interview? He's a nobody. I used to watch True School with his pops. Honestly, he was pretty cool. To be fair, I also don't want to listen to his pops. I mean, it's cool that he has a tight relationship with his dad, but I don't find those videos worth watching at all. Not at all. The YB Boxing is the best boxing YouTuber. I'm tired of all these serious channels who act like boxing is the only thing that exists in their life. The way boxing is going, comic relief is the only way that keeps me interested. Reggie Owens is a decent channel too. What's with Keyshawn saying he's retiring? Tank retiring? Man, Keyshawn better not retire. The dude's fucking at a point where he could really take over the sport. But these young American fighters, fucking dudes, man, are all fucking entitled. All of them, fucking entitled. That's why American boxing, right? Why so many people are critical of it, because you have these guys that could be great, but they fucking consistently fuck themselves up. All the PBC stable, fucking Shakur talking a load of shit and then going out and fucking never performing. Devin Haney fucking trying to be fucking. I mean, fucking Christ, his dad never shutting the fuck up. Keyshawn, the dude was peaking and then he shot himself in the foot. Could not fucking take success. Couldn't deal with success. So he fucked it up. Just like that. Boom. Do you think Isaac Cruz would be a tough style for Matias? I think he's more durable of the two. I think his style is made to fucking allow Matias to fucking bomb his ass out. Gee, Sean. Brutal. What did I say? Matias will be so much bigger than Cruz, it would look ridiculous. Yeah, he'd fucking destroy him. That guy's going to come straight at him, throwing those hooks, and he's just going to get fucking beat up. Beat up. Because he's fucking not that good. I could care less about this supposed retirement. Just retire and shut the fuck up. Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're going to do it, just do it. I mean, we've heard fucking Fury do it a million fucking times. Now no one takes it serious. Tank Davis this whole year has been retire, not retire, retire, not retire. No, it's not brutal. It's just my opinion. I don't like a lot of people's live videos because they're just too long, too boring. I don't like big panels because you get a bunch of people arguing and going off into different tangents. It just becomes hard to listen to. And him with his pops, the same. Him with his young friend that used to be on his channel, the same. Him with Sean, that's different. I can listen to him and Sean because now we are talking about boxing. It's a little more professional. Fucking, you're hitting top points. You're getting straight to shit. And it's far more entertaining. Right? I don't have time to waste on fucking a bunch of rigmarole and fucking side stories. But that's me. You know, some people love being a part of those 5-hour long fucking lives. That's cool. You know, whatever floats your boat. But not me. It's like the people who announce they are leaving YouTube, but they always come back. Fuck. Man, it used to be worse before. People did that shit all the time. And it was like, no one fucking cares. Fuck off. There's a million YouTubers every day starting their channels. Right? So many that fucking I probably don't know any of them. But that's consistently what happens. Because now it's so easy to start a YouTube channel. I mean, if we lose someone, it ain't a fucking big deal. There's 10 more that pop up. And most of them are still fucking mediocre and not that entertaining. Nowadays, retirements are just marketing for comeback fights. Fury is about to do it in a third time. Yeah, well, I just hope he comes back and fights AJ because that's the only fucking fight I think most people really want to see him in. I mean, AJ is coming back to fight Tony Yoka. Okay. I mean, he's been inactive. His last fight, he got knocked the fuck out. Coming back against Tony Yoka, who's weaker than him, makes sense. And then do a fucking Tyson Fury fight after that. Yeah, that fight's huge. Those guys are going to make fucking tens of millions of dollars. Makes tons of sense. Blue Blood has announced that he's getting out of boxing, but he never does. Oh, that guy, man, he's as bad as Fannin. Those guys are all fucking clickbait artists. That's all they fucking do. Clickbait, clickbait, clickbait every fucking day. Now I see all that shit about Bud Crawford and PEDs and fucking under fucking government investigations. And I even saw Counterpunch Boxing fucking going in that direction. I'm like, oh my God. These dudes, man. And John blames fucking all the non-black channels for doing it, like BDA. But the reality is nobody fucking does it more than Fannin fucking boxing. That dude really hates Crawford because of what he did to his fucking boyfriend, Errol Spence. Same as Steve King, who is always leaving the sport. Is Steve Kim always leaving the sport? He's doing like the video all the time with what's his face, the child actor. I like those videos. Fury versus Tama would be great and easy to make since they're both with Queensberry and linked with Turkey. Calm down, man. Like, nobody wants that fight because it doesn't make any sense. Fury and Utama, why? What's the point? Who does it benefit? KO Boxing called out Blue Blood and Champ Side to debate, but they declined. Of course, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to have this back and forth with the PBC or the LDBC. So he's fucking pro tank and they're all anti tank and pro Devin Haney. And they create this back and forth the same way they did with Spence and fucking Bud Crawford. So their channels make lots of money off of YouTube. And then you got the same stupid motherfucking people that watch their channels believing that somehow what they're pushing means something. No, what they're pushing means nothing. They're both fucking biased channels dick riding one fighter. Why would you even want to watch content that is so blatantly fucking one-sided and so biased? It becomes ridiculous. To make Usyk versus Atoma, you don't need to fucking have Fury anywhere involved in that fight because Fury and AJ is the fight to make. And that still fucking opens up a path for Atoma and of course, Usyk. We also, of course, have the cruiserweight that would be a great potential opponent for Usyk as well. So there's opponents available to him, not Fury. Doesn't make sense. BD's channel solid, but besides the two hosts, the rest of the panel is unlistenable to. Yeah, and that's why I don't listen to his channel more, because of the panel of fucking screaming fucking retards, right? When it's just him and the other guy, especially when they do like just short like breakdowns of fights and stuff, that shit's fucking great. Excellent. Well edited, well produced, very good. But yeah. Federico, yeah, it has its ups and downs. John got mad when I said Fannin pushed Crawford PD narrative harder than anyone, and he blamed you. No, I know. I saw your comment. But that's, of course, what John's going to do because he's a fucking guy that's typical of what we said today. Always needing to point fingers and blame someone else. Can't take any ownership or any responsibility at all. Black boxing fans can't be racist, and it can't be their fault, and they never do anything wrong. It's everybody else. Mexicans, Filipinos, and fucking white people. It's all their fault. Of course it is. Yeah, of course it's all their fault. Because we know blacks can do no wrong. I mean, we just saw this kid that shot a taxi driver 6 fucking times. Black kid. We saw all those fucking people beating up the white couple in the streets of Cincinnati. Yeah. Black people. Right? You know, doing it for the culture, I suppose. Right? Because the media only wants to act as if everything bad happens to black people and the black people in America don't do anything wrong. They are the stupid douchebag that got fucking punched in the face by the cop, but you didn't watch all the fucking antagonizing he did before that. He deserved everything he got, the fucking douche. That guy's the part of the problem. People like him. I think White will give Atama problems. Fanning got PTSD from Crawford slaughtering his big fish. BDA made some hilarious LDBC Wilder videos. Jay, the guy Bucho, and the other cat should just run it themselves. And Jimmy from Boston is good too. The rest are pollution. Well, that's it. Sometimes less is more, right? Sometimes less is more. Evis, what's up? Fucking Mirage. Nobody needs fucking Mirage. That guy's a cancer. I know you're listening. KO's debate tournaments made huge fan of his content. Unfortunately, his content now is 90.9 about Tank. Well, that's the thing. He went from a boxing channel to a fanboy channel because he knows that's how he makes more money. And that tells you a lot of what you need to know about these American boxing fans. They're not boxing fans. They're race fans, right? They want to fucking support black fighters because they're black, and they love to fucking hate on other black fighters, right? It's black on black crime, and you know, a microcosm of America. Hey, that white couple slapped that black man first. Yeah, shut up. Yeah, I never heard Mirage there, had no idea. I always tune out after a few minutes. Any nice lady boys over there, Sean? Thailand, where I stayed, I only saw a few lady boys late at night trying to fucking get you on the beach. And you could see their lady boys from fucking a mile away. Scary once they got close. Downright frightening. Uh, Mostly everybody else I saw were just Russian couples and fucking Indian Pakistani couples and Middle Eastern couples. Thailand is a very different fucking demographic nowadays. Not all the European backpackers that it once was. BDA LDBC crying compilations was top tier YTBC entertainment. Well, that's it, right? You know, when he puts his editing hat on and does stuff, the stuff is excellent. It's just the lives and the panels, you know. Yeah, it is what it is. Some people like it, and that's cool. It's like I like Ring IQ, and I listen to every single video, but his lives, not so much. I like Hatman a lot. Been listening to him fucking from day one, but his lives, not so much, right? BFTB does a debate series now. Rachel Donaire, Tony's Review, Fight Sports Talk, and KO 86 are probably the best debates. I never fucking understood this whole debate shit anyway. People have their own opinions. No debate is going to change anyone's opinion. Not at all. So, you know, when fucking what's his face, the dude from Georgia, the military guy, started the LDBC with his other buddy and did debates there. You know, I didn't care. I could have participated. I'm just not interested, right? To me, fucking debate. What are we in high school? What's this? The debate club? Once again, it's a part of the boxing community that I just don't fucking get. I mean, knockout boxing, you can win a debate if you want. That's fine, but you're still a fucking fanboy channel. That's it. Just because maybe you're more intelligent than the people you debate and you can put your fucking points together and more well articulated, doesn't mean what you say is correct. It just shows that you're a fucking huge fanboy. And we know you're a huge fanboy. We knew that back in the Spence fucking Bud Crawford era. And how did that look for you? Fucking, you got exposed big time. And you're still eating crow over that. Still fucking eating crow over that. And then what do? You jump on the next man's fucking and start riding him all until fucking he retires and gets beat by Lamont Roach. And then what are you going to do? Who are you going to jump on then? Right? That's the question. Who is fucking knockout boxing going to jump on after Tank Davis is gone from the sport of boxing? Carmel Moulton? I don't even know who he's going to jump on, but I'm sure there's somebody. Ghetto thugs think they get out of jail free card in accusing someone of calling them the N-word. Of course they're going to call, oh, you called me an N-word. Yeah, these two white people in jazz festival with fucking shitloads of fucking brothers and sisters everywhere are going to throw out the fucking N-word because they are suicidal. Right? Like, who in their fucking right mind would fucking go into jazz festival and start slinging the fucking N-word around? The only time you're going to sling that word around when fucking dudes start jumping on you and fucking you see there's nothing you can do anyway. So at that point, whatever. You're getting fucking hit from all sides, cheap shot motherfuckers. You know, this is the way the brothers fight, man. Dirty, cheap. And not just the brothers. I see fucking Latinos and fucking the Asians do the same thing. Maybe even white people. But generally, I haven't seen too many fights like that. But mostly because I've seen Eastern European fights. And in Eastern European fights, yeah, it don't go down like that. Because I think most of those dudes have boxing fucking pedigree. So it ain't fucking like that. It goes down a whole different way. 3 or 4 guys, one dude fucking flatlines all 3 or 4 of them. Boom, 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 boom. And that's it. Not these fucking dudes pushing you from behind, jumping in, kicking you. I mean, I saw a lot of that shit in Toronto all the time growing up. And I'm like, you some fucking pussy ass motherfuckers. Strong in a group, soft as an individual. You wouldn't be doing shit if it was just you. But because you feel strong, because you're hidden by the group, then you can do all this kind of shit. Even women were jumping in and fucking throwing kicks in. If that was me, the first person I would have tagged, fucking looked at, it was the woman. I would have just focused on her and knocked her the fuck out. The rest could keep beating me up. But as long as I fucking tagged her, maybe she just doesn't like the fact he beats up her husband. John just made a video crying about the PBC. Of course he did. You did participate in some of the debates on EJ's channel. I know, but that wasn't EJ's channel. That was the other channel where it was a panel. And where they fucking said that I was wrong when I was pushing Pacquiao to fight fucking Terrence Crawford. And they said that he was done. He's done. But he went on to beat Keith Thurman to become a world champion years after that. See, my fucking narrative aged well. Theirs, not so fucking well. Theirs aged like fucking, sour wine. Rachel Donaire was extremely annoying when she was trying her hardest to hate on only because she wanted to fit in with the LDBC. That's what I don't understand about her either. Her and her husband trying to fit in with the LDBC, who fucking consistently throughout their whole fucking life on YouTube shit all over her fucking husband. Maybe she just doesn't like the fact he beat up her husband. What debate Knockout had a debate with Ring IQ and Julius let him pick the subject. He got slaughtered so bad he fake lost his connection and left. I remember that. Did you hear that Rachel had an affair with Bermaine Stavern and Luis Ortiz? Man, she knows how to pick them. Two ugly motherfuckers. Why Floyd doesn't get Carmel Moten on TV so we can see him makes no sense. How are you going to build a star? Exactly. They fight like hyenas. Exactly. Yeah. Biting you from behind when you're not looking. Yeah, it's some cheap ass bullshit, man. No real man gonna fucking fight like that. Like, no. Anybody that really wants to fight and just man up is not gonna fucking fight like that. Especially against some fucking middle-aged white dude and his wife. But look at the dude that fucking knocked out his wife. That guy fucking looked like he's about 5'2", right? And those guys fucking just got out of the joint, all of them, right? Is it a surprise these people that fucking already were on charges somehow were at Jazz Festival causing trouble with fucking white people? Of course there's no surprise. None at all. I know they did it for the culture, but nonetheless, I mean, it's not a surprise at all, but people are going to defend them. Oh, they said the N-word. Oh, okay. So now it's fucking, yeah, now it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. No problem. But I need to go walk the baby. It's almost 8:30. Thanks, everyone, for jumping in. I will see you later this week. Obviously, we got some boxing coming up this weekend. I will break that shit down on a live later this week after I get myself together. It was my first day at work today, and fucking I was loving that. Please, can I just win the fucking lottery? Please? That's all. I don't need a lot of money. Just enough so I don't have to fucking teach anymore. And of course, his mother came out with the whole he a good boy narrative. Of course, he a good boy. He shot a taxi driver 6 times. He a good boy. Look at those girls in Toronto. They killed the fucking Chinese homeless guy, and they all got off real light fucking cases. Like, you killed a homeless dude because you're a bunch of drunk fucking bitches who fucking feel strong as a group. You attack fucking the most vulnerable person in society. You kill him. And now you fucking cry to the court fucking on your hands and knees to get a light sentence. And fucking Canada gave you that light sentence because Canada's fucked. What's happened to the dude that stabbed the fucking football player in Texas? That dude ain't getting the fucking light sentence. He's going down hard. Right? After fucking all that money they tried to fucking raise so he could win in court. He killed the kid. I know. The kid used the N-word. He used the N-word. If somebody uses the N-word, that means you can kill them. But no matter what derogatory words they use to talk about white people, If you kill them, then you murdered them, right? I love this reversism that you see. It's like Sydney Sweeney, right, doing a jeans commercial. Everyone lost their fucking wig, lost their wig. You watching WNBA? Lost your wig. Somehow making fun of a girl in the WNBA that lost her wig is somehow insulting. She lost her fucking wig. That shit's hilarious. Hilarious. But, right, how come these people were so happy when Beyonce did a jeans commercial? No one was fucking crying racism then. You didn't see white people all over the internet fucking getting in their feelings because Beyonce was fucking selling jeans to black people. No one cares. She's a hot black girl selling jeans. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. You get a hot white girl with big tits selling jeans. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. This formula has fucking been done to death. The irony is this commercial is almost the direct fucking steal of Brooke Shields' 1980 video. 1980s, right? 1980s was a much better time than today. People were far less fucking wrapped in Charmin like they are today. Right, John? Because you are wrapped fucking in Charmin tight, buddy. Oh my God. You are like a sensitive soul. Whew. Damn, everything offends you. Must be tough, buddy, to live in the world you live in. Being so fragile. So fragile. You better go to the gym and fucking lift because you're so fragile. You better fucking bulk up some more. Still you bulk up and you're still fragile. Why are you so fragile, son? Why? But thanks everyone for jumping on. I will see you next time. Peace out.